Okay, I'm sorry I was not able to be there tonight. I had a family issue. This is the slides and the problems I was going to go over. So what I encourage you to do is at the multiple choice questions, pause, think about your answer, and then I'll give the answer and explain why. All right. I think it's important to know demand versus quantity demand. The demand is timer. It's a shift of the entire curve. Quantity demand, it happens one or two ways. Either you slide up or down the curve due to a change in price, or a shift in supply, which will increase or decrease supply or increase or decrease quantity demand. Substitutes versus complements. First of all, that's cross-price elasticity. A positive is a substitute. A substitute is when the price of one good goes up, the demand for the other good goes up. Think Coke and Pepsi. The price of Pepsi goes up, people buy less Pepsi, therefore the demand of Coke goes up. Complements is a negative in cross-price elasticity. And remember, complements, the price of one goes up, the demand of the other goes down. So if the price of hot dogs go up, people buy less hot dogs, therefore they demand less hot dog buns. And I know there's two definite substitute versus complement questions. Inferior versus normal, I believe there's two questions specifically. Inferior is income up, demand down, income down, demand up. And normal is income and demand going the same way. I know you guys know the shifters of supply and demand. I am not going over them. Excise tax is a shift left. And a subsidy is a shift right. I think we have an example of an excise tax in these problems, so you'll be able to see it. All right, on a downward sloping straight line demand curve, which of the following is always true? I would pause now, think of your answer, and then I'll come back and answer it, for you. But pause it so you don't listen to my answer and you think about it. All right, well, a downward sloping demand curve, you're going to have in the middle the answer C, unit elastic. You have elastic and then inelastic. I think, so it's E unit, and I think E before I, elastic, and then inelastic, okay? For whatever reason, they love these type of questions. So I would know elastic, unit elastic, inelastic there. And again, the answer is C as in Caroline. Okay, you will not have to know the production possibilities curve for this, but you want to produce more capital goods if you want long-term economic growth. All right, again, pause this. The quantity of acrylic paint supply decreased from 500 tons per week to 400 tons per week. When the price of acrylic paint decreased from 20 tons to 10 tons. The price elasticity for supply for acrylic paint over the price range is. All right, again, hit the pause button, figure it out. I'm going to be back. Now remember, it is, for supply, it is the percentage change of quantity supplied over the percentage change in price. Now, how do I figure out percentage change? It's new minus old over old. So the new quantity is 400 minus the old, which was 500 over 500. I get 1 over 500, which is 0.2. The new price is 10 minus the old price, which is 20, right? Oh, so I get the new price is 10 minus the old price of 20 over 20. I got 10 over 20, 0.5. So 0.2 over 0.5 or 2 over 5, inelastic, less than 1, inelastic, 1, unit elastic, greater than 1, elastic. Okay. Again, you should pause the video and answer all these questions that are over here. Okay, you're back. All right, so I'll go over the answers. Consumer surplus before tax. All right, it's always above the price, and the price is $5 because before tax, $5 is the equilibrium. Okay. And so it's a triangle, so it's half base times height. So the height is 8 minus 5, which is 3. The base is 90. So 3 times 90 is 270, divided by 2 is 135. Total expenditures before tax. Remember, again, total expenditures is price times quantity. So the price is 5. We sold 90. That's 450. That's total expenditures per tax. Tax per unit. All right, this is a favorite of theirs. So you could go in between any two lines. So you see even the 4 and the 2, that would give you $2. I like to look for the new equilibrium and draw it down. 6 minus 4, that's $2. And if I took this straight line up, it'd be 5, and that looks like 7. All of those would give you $2. So remember, it's a $2 per unit tax. All right, now total tax revenue that goes to the government. Well, it's a $2 tax, and we sold 60 units, so 60 times 2 is 120. Now, if you want to look at the tax revenue box, which is this, again, 2 times the base is 60 is 120, okay? Either way. Amount of tax paid by the consumers. All right, originally the consumers were paying $5. Now they're paying $6, so that's $1 tax times 60 units is $60. Total expenditures after tax. Again, that's price times quantity. So that is $6 times 60, right? Because the new price after tax is $6 times 60 is $360. Total revenue for firms after tax. All right. And it would be the same thing as the expenditures, price times quantity. Consumer surplus after tax. Well, here is now consumer surplus above the price and below demand. So the base is 8 minus 6 is 2 times, rather the height, 8 minus 6 is 2, and the base is 60. 60 times 2 is 120, divided by 2, because it's half base times height, is 60. And the deadweight loss is this triangle. Now, if they're asking you for the area of the deadweight loss, again, it's this triangle. So it's 6 minus 4 is the height is 2, and the base is 30 is 60. 2 times 30 is 60, divided by 2 is 30. Okay. Now, I'm talking a little fast, and I realize, but you do have the ability to stop and go over things. Okay. All right, I would know this. There's 2 questions on excise tax. This is also could be an FRQ. I mean, it was a released FRQ. Okay. All right, the difference between the price at which a consumer would be willing to pay for a candy bar and the actual market price that she buys is best known. All right, this is the definition of D as in dogwood, consumer surplus. All right, this sometimes tricks guys up. So make sure you pause here and think this out. In 2014, 13 billion bushels of corn were harvested and sold for $3.70 per bushel. The next year, 13 bushels of corn were harvested and sold at $3.50 per bushel. Which of the following changes in supply and demand could have caused this change? All right, pause it, and I'll be right back with the answer. Okay, so what do we notice? Price went down and quantity stayed the same, all right? So, all right, if supply decreased, that's a leftward supply shift, price went up. And if demand decreased, price went down. And both of them would have quantity going down, but quantity stayed the same. So A can't be the answer. If supply increased and demand decreased, both of them, supply increases price down, demand decrease price down. All right, that would get price down. Supply increase gets quantity up, demand decrease gets quantity down. I mean, if they're equally up and down, B as in broccoli could be the answer. Okay, so it is B as in broccoli. If you looked at C, supply decrease, price up, demand increase, price up, the price went down. That can't be it. Supply increase, price up, demand increased, D, supply increase, price down, while demand increase, price up. That's hard to get to 370, and both of them have a quantity increase and quantity stayed the same. All right, so it looks like it's going to be B as in broccoli, because the quantity of supply, when supply shifts right, increases. When demand shifts left, it decreases. So they could have got into the middle, and both of them have price going down, and we went down from 370 to 350. All right. These are, again, two that you should think about and look at and pause, because we just did this one day, and I will go through the explanation when you come back after pausing it. Okay. All right. So remember, for these, we're looking for the marginal utility, say, of pizza over the price of pizza. And I'm having trouble. Needs to equal the marginal utility of pens over the price of pens. Okay. All right. So they gave me the marginal utility of pizza, and each unit is $2. So it's the marginal utility of pizza over the price. So I'm going to divide that by 2. So 20 divided by 2 is going to equal 10. 18 divided by 2 is going to equal 9. Sorry for the handwriting. 16 divided by 2 is going to equal 8. 7, 6, and 5. Okay, I don't think I'm going to have to go further down. Now, pens are $1, so I don't have to, 8 divided by 1 is 8, 7, so I don't have to go down. All right, I'm looking for something 10 equal 10. No. 9 equal 9. No. Right, 8 equals 8. 3 pizzas, you'd be spending $6 and 1 pen, right? Because here 8 would be 3 pizzas and 1 pen. That would be $6, $7, but they want me to spend 10. So even though that equals, I'm not spending all 10. So I'm going to go to 7, which is here, and that would be 4 pizzas at $2. So that's getting me to spend 8. And then I'm going to 7 here, which is 2 pens at $1 each. That's 2. So that is the answer, right? 4 slices of pizza and 2 10. So that's B as in broccoli. All right. All right. Now, the second question is, if the student purchases 2 units of pizza and 2 pens, the students, all right, so this is marginal. So to get total, I got to add up. So 20 and 18 is 38. And 15, right? 8 and 7 is 15. So 38 and 15, E as in Ellen, okay? Whenever they're asking here, the, like for 20, maximize utility, you got to remember it's the marginal utility of X over the price of X equal the marginal utility of Y over the price of Y. Remember, it's marginal utility. So if it comes out unbalanced, you always want to increase the number, because notice, like, as you increase the number of slices, the marginal utility goes down. Okay. A fire destroys a wheat crop input for cereal. If the supply and demand for cereal are both relatively inelastic and the fire does not impact the quality of wheat, what makes it to the market? Which of the following will most likely occur to the equilibrium price and quantity? All right, again, pause this. Okay, I'm going to just, and again, I'm not going to, it's very hard for me to draw on this, so excuse me for not labeling everything, but there is your supply and demand for cereal, okay? All right. So what happens? Fire destroys an input, that's a resource, supply shifts left there. So I've got a higher price and a lower quantity, all right? So price will increase, C as in Caroline. Notice the whole inelastic thing there is really just a distractor. It really doesn't matter because they're not asking you how much. They're just asking you, will it increase or decrease? So therefore, you have price will increase and quantity will decrease, C as in Caroline, just a leftward supply shift. All right, all right, all right. Anytime they're asking you floors and ceilings, the first thing to do is look, is it binding? A price floor at 80, so the floor upside down house has to be at the equilibrium 60, it's binding, all right? Is it a shortage or a surplus? Well, floors, when they're binding, are always going to be a surplus. And here at 80, right, that's 700 we're supplying, but people only want 300. So we have 700 minus 300, 400, a surplus of 400. Now, if they asked you how much are people buying here, the quantity is 300, right? People, even though there are 700 like water filters, people only want 300. So people are only buying 300 water filters. Now, the other thing is, suppose they made this price floor at 40. Well, it would be below the equilibrium, so it would not be binding. So you would just like ignore it, and it would be 60 and 400. All right, those, again, for any of these problems, make sure you check, is it binding? If the demand for Raven tickets are very elastic, okay, so if it's an elastic, if price goes up, total revenue is going to go down. They go in opposite directions. So it would be B as in broccoli, a decrease in the total revenue. Okay, now this is like the problem we had earlier. Suppose the consumer purchased two goods. Okay, so anytime they're like looking here, they're looking for that formula, which is the marginal utility of X equals the marginal utility of Y. Anytime you're looking to maximize utility, okay? So that's B as in broccoli. Okay, that wraps it up. I will be available at 7:45 in room 100. I'm also off periods 1 to 4, and I'll be in the ARC to answer any questions there. Again, sorry that I wasn't able to do the review at 7:45. It was just a family issue.